Chumlee, from pawnshop rookie to TV star, the full story. In 2010, Chumlee made one careless move at the pawn shop that changed everything. He was handling a simple bass guitar valued at just $700. Nothing special, but when it crashed to the floor, the repair estimate left Rick Harrison pale. The number was so high that Chumlee couldn't even speak. Rick exploded in anger, pointing to the door and telling him to leave immediately. What happened next shook the shop behind the scenes for months. This moment never aired on TV, but it became one of the most whispered disasters in Pawn Stars history. Austin Lee Russell, better known as Chumlee, was born on September 8, 1982, in Henderson, Nevada. He was the second child in a family that struggled financially. After his parents separated early in his life, the burden fell on his mother, who juggled 2 or 3 jobs to keep the household afloat. Despite the exhaustion, she tried to make life feel normal for Austin and his siblings, Sage and Tara. She often bought secondhand items from garage sales and flipped them for extra money. Watching her turn old junk into rent money, Austin learned early lessons about value, how something ordinary to one person could be priceless to another. These lessons planted the first seeds of the pawn shop mindset he would embrace years later. Growing up in the 1990s in the Las Vegas suburbs, Austin was just like any other kid: video games, toys, and hanging out with friends. But he had an eye for interesting items. While other kids focused on sports or cartoons, Austin accompanied his mother to garage sales and learned to trade items for things he wanted. By the age of 10, he had his first harsh lesson. He spent $50 on what he believed was a real Mickey Mantle card, only to find it was fake. The disappointment was intense, but it taught him that authenticity mattered more than appearances, a lesson he would carry into the pawn shop. When Austin was around 12, a friend's father nicknamed him Chumlee, comparing him to the walrus from the cartoon Tennessee Tuxedo. The teasing stuck, and soon everyone called him Chumlee. What started as a joke became his identity, helping him stand out later in reality TV. Middle school wasn't easy, but Chumlee found his niche in Pokemon cards. He traded, bought, and sold them for small profits, learning supply and demand in real life without textbooks. His peers who once teased him now sought his advice on trades, building both his confidence and negotiation skills. By 17, Chumlee had enough of school. He dropped out of Green Valley High in 1999 and earned a GED. He picked up jobs wherever he could, including a comic shop, where he stocked shelves and helped customers find old issues. There, he stayed close to the world he understood: collectibles, comics, and games, developing his skills in dealing with customers, assessing value, and spotting rare finds. Even in his teens, Chumlee learned the consequences of poor choices. At 15, he tried selling a stolen bike part at a flea market and got caught, forcing him to rethink how he wanted to conduct himself. That incident instilled the importance of honesty and reputation, lessons that would guide him in the pawn business. Everything changed when he met Corey Harrison, whose family owned the gold and silver pawn shop. The two bonded over collectibles, and Chumlee began spending time at the shop. By 2000, at 18, he observed Rick Harrison negotiating over a vintage Atari console. The experience sparked a fascination with how every item held a hidden story and every sale was a puzzle. By 2001, Chumlee began helping out at the shop for free, sorting shelves, checking collectibles, and digging through boxes. He learned to spot fakes, like a counterfeit He-Man figure, earning recognition and tips from Rick. In 2002, he made his first major deal, spotting a rare Super Mario Bros. Cartridge. Rick hesitated, but Chumlee's instincts were correct. The shop bought it for $200 and later sold it for $800. The $50 commission boosted his confidence and sense of belonging. Chumlee also witnessed the darker side of pawn dealings. Heated arguments, like a dispute over a Civil War pistol, showed him how quickly tensions could escalate. By 2003, at 21, he was officially hired at the pawn shop, testing gold chains, handling pawn tickets, and learning the counter. The routine may have seemed mundane, but it prepared him for the scrutiny and fast pace of reality TV. Over the next few years, Chumlee gained experience and confidence. He spotted a vintage Star Wars lightsaber in 2005, buying it for $300 and selling it for $3,000. The success earned respect and showed him that his instincts were valuable. Yet mistakes continued to teach him humility. A 2006 purchase of a fake Rolex for $1,200 led to Rick shouting, "You're fired." Though Chumlee stayed and learned to double-check everything. By 2007, he was trusted with high-value items, including an authentic Elvis Presley belt buckle. Chumlee's life wasn't just about work. In 2008, he focused on personal improvement, losing 50 pounds using the pawn shop gym, which increased his confidence and visibility. By the time the cameras rolled in 2009, he had 5 years of experience. At the producer's audition, he naturally haggled and joked, impressing them enough to be cast on the spot. His on-screen persona was fun and goofy, but off-camera, he studied antique guides, memorized values, and worked tirelessly. By season 2 in 2010, his income jumped from $25,000 to $100,000 annually. Fame brought freedom and opportunities, but also scrutiny. 2010 also marked the infamous upright bass incident. Leaning it against a shelf, Chumlee didn't anticipate it falling. The repair estimate came back at $20,000, causing tension with Rick. Though it never aired, the incident became one of the most talked about behind-the-scenes moments in Pawn Stars history. Chumlee's life took a darker turn in 2016 when police raided his Las Vegas home. While no sexual assault evidence was found, authorities discovered drugs, paraphernalia, and firearms, including unregistered assault rifles. The media frenzy painted him in a negative light. Charges were later reduced, and Chumlee faced probation, counseling, and the surrender of all weapons. Despite the setbacks, Chumlee returned to the show in 2017, more cautious and professional. He also opened Chumlee's Candy on the Las Vegas Strip, selling retro sweets and memorabilia, which grossed around $500,000 in the first year. In the following years, he expanded his influence into collectibles, including Pokemon and Magic cards, achieving a net worth of $5 million by 2025. His television pay, business ventures, and residuals from over a decade on Pawn Stars secured his financial independence. Personally, Chumlee found balance. In 2018, he got engaged to Olivia Caputo and remained sober. Therapy, support groups, and personal discipline helped him handle fame, stress, and the challenges of a public life. From a young boy flipping garage sale items to a pawn shop expert and TV personality, Chumlee's journey is a story of persistence, learning from mistakes, and turning chaos into opportunity. Despite setbacks, controversies, and personal struggles, he transformed his life and career, proving that growth and redemption are possible even under the public eye.